it's here. Right. I just want to know.
Are we out there?
Let me look at YouTube.
It's so cute.
I'll go in there and check it out. Oh my god.
Because I was like, oh, it's next year, and then I thought, oh, if I do this again next year, we're gonna just find the same.
It'll just continue.
Yeah.
Whenever you don't want to do that, check box, they're waiting for you.
Yes.
Let's see if it's actually live. Okay, I muted it from my end, and it looks like it's live. Yeah,
Okay.
it is functioning.
All right.
That only took 10 minutes.
Yeah, I believe that we're live. Thank you for your patience during the delay. Thank you for joining us. We have some new equipment here and some old people using it. So, welcome to the December 9th staff meeting, planning meeting. This is our last meeting of the year, and then we'll pick it up on the other side of the year. We'll start, I think we want to start with the board announcements.
That's me.
Yeah.
I would
What
come up
I
and
can-
probably stand.
I was going to say I can get out of the way, and then I
If you
realized,
chill on Troy's left, it should be audible.
yeah, what I was going to try to get out of your way, but the whole
I mean, this is good enough.
walking thing is.
All right. So for the board, we did not hold our regular meeting for November. We did hold an emergency meeting for a vote of no confidence in Matt Paulson due to multiple reports of misconduct, which resulted in his removal from the organization. We are unable to provide further details regarding that action. Lori Ann Paulson has also been suspended from her board duties at this time, pending further investigation. Again, we are unable to provide further details. If you are interested in the open president position or the vacant member at large position that has been vacant for a while, please email the board with your interest. We'll be holding the election within 30 days, and more details on that will be coming. That's it.
Thank you so much, Allie.
Thank you,
Get in here.
All right.
Wait.
Oh.
There we go. I'm just saying hi.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Apologies.
If you have any questions, throw them in chat. Brittany will be monitoring that, and we'll bring them up as they come up. As far as attendance, throw that out to the chairman at animedetour.com, and we're looking in ways to integrate that into our Eventney system, so that's more consistent as we move forward.
Did we get rid of the dumb AD underscore?
Yes,
Oh,
I think that's.
that's
I
beautiful.
believe that's antiquated. We couldn't
Special.
locate any functional reason to continue that, and most of it was aliased anyway. It might have just been something that was present to avoid like bots and junk.
That makes sense.
So, Brittany completely derailed the train that already moves slow. So,
I apologize.
we'll
My
try
God.
to figure that out. We'll start then with we do have some additional announcements regarding some executive positions. So, to start with, rattle and hum at the door. Well, I was going to wait. It sounded like somebody was coming in, so then I was.
It rattles whenever anybody opens up the outside door, the air pressure changes.
So, okay. So, with that, Allie, who was one of our vice chairs, has also decided to step down away from that position. She will be rejoining staff in the guest relations department. So, with that and doing some restructuring of the vice chair positions, we have Hotura will be taking over the, I just lost the name, what was Allie's? Convention programming.
We have that right here.
Hotura will be heading up that division. So we would both like to thank Allie for her time as head over those teams, and welcome Hotura to the executive team over convention programming. And Hotura should be up here at the tables. Yay!
I didn't want to cause any suspicious noise.
Yeah.
Totally fair.
The audacity she has to
Big
say.
reveal. Yes.
And with that, I just want to like stress to the staff that's here and stress to the staff that are joining us in the chat, like, this is a volunteer org. If at any point you feel like the work-life balance is not hitting you and you need someone to step in, like that's what your department heads are for, that's what your chairman is for, and like that's what the chairman team is for. So when you feel like overwhelmed or you can't, just make sure that you can delegate your workload to somebody and that we can help you. That is super important in every step of the way, no matter what is happening in or outside the convention. But we still want to run this convention, and that's why it's important for us to nominate, and we're so lucky to have Hotura stepping up for this role.
Right. Along those lines, to make sure that not only do we have as full of an executive team as we did just a few weeks ago, but also to kind of keep as much stability as we are able to, especially at this point in the convention cycle, we are going to have Morgan Niemeyer from our staffing department continue to work with and monitor the, what was it, is it the operations?
Yes.
I'm just not as, I haven't yet completely brained the renaming of the business classifications.
We also don't have it up on the website yet, which is a little...
Yep, well, we just have done that rebuild, so we'll get those up. Thought being there is we want to make sure and get everything to the convention itself, and so doing a full-on application process and potentially pulling people out of their departments would not happen until mid or late January. So even if a department was able to do that and leave their department in capable hands, it just is even closer to the convention and trying to onboard even our most capable of staff into the vice chair position. So that will leave most of, if not all of the staffing duties in the hands of Troy Moore and Hope Berger, and then we will reevaluate that particular vice chair slot post-convention. We'll also be doing a relook at sort of how all of that is structured. We have had some discussion this cycle about looking at, not only how the whole thing is structured at the executive level and how that reports, but including a potential for a fifth vice chair, if that was something we were going to do. We've had those discussions, but it wasn't something we were going to implement this cycle. So it's again that looking forward and taking those steps to build something to then implement it down the road versus just boom, we're doing this now. That's about it that I can think of. Tabby has a question.
Yeah, so for at convention, is there a possibility that we'll be able to meet some of these people, like the other Troy and Morgan? Just because I've seen their emails come through, I just kind of want to put a face to a name and maybe, like, think about like like maybe do the next I wish to know the other me.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Morgan is also local, which is also going to be a benefit, especially in these last preparatory months before convention, in case anybody from her team needs to meet with her. She just wasn't able to make it to this meeting.
Makes sense.
But yeah, the staffing folks will be on site.
Okay. I know that it's not required.
No, but
it would be nice.
Right. Yeah. We in these last few years have opened it up and always believed that we are able to have leaders in positions that are remote, but obviously we would like that to end with on-site at convention. Otherwise, I think would all be very confused if you only ever were just remote. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
For reference, guys, with my new job and not being here, I am planning to fly out to visit and have our meetings in the longevity. I will be moving after the convention. I'll be here through the convention, but I'll be moving in April or May, and then my plan is to attend these every other month. So you will see me still every other month. Yes.
Hey.
So I will not be gone forever. And Troy is very upset about this whole thing. He's like, how could you? Like, we're gonna live through this day, I promise. We're gonna live through this next couple months.
Ditch us, Brittany.
I am very happy
Proud of you.
for Brittany.
So proud.
Yes, I'm very happy for Brittany.
Office jobs are scary. I'm gonna say it right now. Office jobs are so scary.
Congratulations, Brittany.
Yay.
Good job. Congratulations on the promotion. Woo! Can't wait to get out of here. I mean, the other
I think then what you can do is move into, we did have, it
Department
seemed like a
updates.
pretty significant uptick in department updates.
Yes, good job,
Much
guys. For real,
appreciated.
Very important.
Again, I try to put in the email probably a constant reiteration of why they are important. Obviously, with the switch over, especially post COVID, with virtual meetings, it allows more people to be engaged with us as staff without being in the room here for the couple hours that we have the meeting, and engage with the contents of the meeting outside of the hours the meeting is held. So if they, work every weekend and stuff like that, they can watch it back. And so it's important that we kind of have the record of what it is we're doing and those updates, and that we, as executives, also get that feedback from you guys on where you're at, what you're doing. Helps us to figure out, with that information from you, what departments do you need to talk to? Are you, getting any kind of radio silence from a department? How can we support you? That sort of thing. Also for, the general attendees, if they're trying to engage with us on that level, they're getting that as well, that we're putting that out there into the universe. But let's see. I don't know how you guys want to work it. I don't know if you guys, I can just read them all off.
I mean,
we
if
don't
you-
have them broken down right now into
No, it's
the
just kind
different.
of like all in the email chat group. So if you just want to whip through them,
Yeah.
that's totally fine. By me, I don't know.
Let's see. I think the first one so far that I've come up with is John. Does anybody want to guess what safety said?
They need more staff.
You're such a dirty.
Actually, I'm shocked. He just proved me wrong. He actually didn't say that. So John doesn't need any more staff.
Well, I can only be.
Nah.
No.
No, but
So +1 dispatcher. So we've got all staff.
yeah, like I said, themes. I did have them working on like a specific graphic about, hey, do you want to join safety? So they do have that in their pipeline. But from John, department heads, if you haven't done so already, please fill out the radio request form by the end of the month. And
Can we
then,
have that forwarded in the Discord chat as well? Like, let's get that forwarded out in the Discord chat, and we can what'd you
I'll
say?
put it in there.
Yeah, if just
Sure.
I'm not in
because it's
Discord.
another
I'll do it.
accessibility piece. Have we flashed that out in like a general email to all staff, like to department heads, Okay.
yeah.
It's only for department.
Yep.
heads.
That makes sense. So yeah, put it in the department head chat as well. That would be good.
And then
No.
Please.
looking forward, John's looking forward again to the social media posts for recruiting, and then he has a receipt for the treasurer. And let's see, from
What's the fluffy number of staff you would like on your team?
50?
yeah,
I need to- wow, okay. How many do you have now?
21, 22?
yeah,
I don't remember. I'd have to go into Mendy and count.
Okay, thank you.
yeah. With 8192 for attendance numbers last year. Yeah, I mean even 50 sounds like you think a high number from zero, but
Now we
comparing.
run 24 hours.
Right. No. I'm saying it, you would think that sounds like a high number, but yeah, with that number of attendees. From our Jason, our dance and music event coordinator, let's see. The DJ auditions have concluded. We had 16 entries. The entries are currently under review, and the performers will be selected and notified by December 22nd. That wasn't for all the slots. We do have, some of our headliners and co-headliners that, we bring in. This was for some of the additional spots in the roster there. So working on our headliners contract, we did confirm that they still have those dates available. Jinray has signed their contract, and that's the DJ who is in charge of our K-pop battles that we started last year here at Detour. We'll have a quick meeting to figure out the best room to put them in and the tech needs there, and then we'll be promoting that through Generace channels. Putting a proposal together for a Friday night 18 plus music event. We've had some conversations throughout the cycle about that. That is, it's going to be a smaller type event that's to continue to broaden alternative Friday night programming outside of what we had known as Friday dance, Saturday dance, that sort of thing. He will deliver that by January 1st, and Jason says he will be attending today's meeting online, should we have any questions for him. And
question.
Hmm?
Are we doing the mixes on Friday nights or the rest? Or?
Yeah, we will have a burlesque presentation on Friday and Saturday. That is a more recent development. Let's see.
Literally a couple of days ago.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, it's just like
We'll update you when
if we're having Friday another location that's an 18 plus.
Let's see. From Remy, who is our accessibility head, some of the things that they are currently working on is creating a survey for last year's attendees to see what accessibility needs they have, and they're looking into badges, stickers, passes, how we can identify our accessibility needs folks. As we're aware, this is literally a glow up for our accessibility department, whereas that had been slotted under admin years ago, and it was just not as much focus as was being paid to that department. A very much an identifiable need and a desire to bring that in line with what we need to do there. Yes?
I still haven't been contacted by Remy, and I am in accessibility.
Yeah, I think they had just gotten the budget, and I think that they're sorting through that presentation end of things as far as what they are able to do for this year in terms of, and I think this is the first piece of that is what our attendees are looking for, and then how they can make that match with the budget they have gotten, which did not get to them with the first round after being approved as it should have, so they were a little bit in the dark yet until a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But we will definitely let them know that they have staff. I did see that you were assigned to the department in Eventney, so
Step one.
yeah, there is that connection. But yeah, we want to make sure that with this first step that we can, bless you, we can see what some of the most requested and necessary needs are for the attendees, and figure out how many different inroads we can make with that, with the budget and staffing and support that we have there, and how to best, I hate to say identify it, but is it badges, is it stickers, so that
There should also be like a chat that's available.
Mhm.
So in the Discord group, are you already in the Discord?
Yep, I'm in that one.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You can also start conversations anywhere with anyone in there, and so just like even just to like float ideas
Yep.
and like start posting things in there about like, hey, questions about this. Hey, what do we think about this? Like, feel free to just like throw suggestions, and like
I will dump my list in there.
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, especially
That is documented somewhere, and then we can like create follow-up.
Yeah.
So even if it's not the department head, even if it's the vice chair kind of pointing it out to the department head, if they're not super active on Discord, then it's just kind of like us sharing the communication channels.
Yeah.
Because some people aren't on a PC, some people are only on phones, some people
Yeah.
spend all their time on their PC, you know what I mean?
There was
Like,
a strange update on Discord via phones.
Yeah.
That's nice.
yeah, it's bubblier.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute.
It takes
I
some
don't know.
time to get used to.
Yeah. It's the accessibility thing is just that I'm kind of in touch with a lot of some of the disabled people who go to the convention, and things like the clear bag policy. I had people who were like, they were stopped by like not our security but like the random like hotel security,
Clear bag.
Yeah,
What?
We don't have a clear bag. Yeah.
We
For
don't have a clear
the,
bag
um,
policy
yeah.
for the
For the
hotel.
dance?
for the dance.
Yeah.
Dance was,
Oh.
that was their own domain. So
Oh.
they got
Yeah.
tired of people leaving bags everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But there were people there was somebody who had a,
That's, you'd have to check
Medical.
out.
insulin pump that they were told they couldn't bring their insulin pump in.
Oh, that's illegal, they can't.
Yeah.
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 And they came to security for it, and I was like,
They technically don't need a clear bag for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
It's
at
just a
all.
bag.
Yeah.
That's a state ADA policy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this, as, you know, a
Definitely, thank
dispatcher.
you so much for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
Now that the security team knows about that, and now that we know about that, well, sorry, safety.
Yeah.
Safety.
Security.
Yeah. We'll definitely like.
The only problem was is that all y'all had gone to bed last night, or that night, and the only person I could contact was Brian.
Yeah, and honestly, like
We don't go to bed until.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what-
I was about to say, they're pretty awake.
I knew they slept.
Sometimes they have to.
Well, sleep. Well, when I tried to radio y'all, none of you had answered.
Okay, well, we apologize about that. We dropped the ball on that one, and you know, we'll definitely make it better this year. How, I don't know, because it's not my department, but.
So that's
I
why
think
I,
we can
that's why I was
Jason
like,
too.
yeah, I
Like,
think I'm gonna
yeah.
see if I can't join accessibility and get, you know,
Oh,
some,
definitely. Yeah, so just like,
some help with things like that.
and us as staff, like, we're still representatives of the congoers. Like, just because we run this and like operate this doesn't mean we're not still convention enjoyers. So we want to take as much like congoer experience into account, but that's not to discount ours. So
Yeah.
All
for
right.
sure.
Thank you again for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, I have an update from volunteers. They are still on track working with themes for the artwork that they'll require for this year. They still are going to discuss with themes a new idea that they have for their department's programming guide entry. No, you're good. They should be getting an email from volunteers on that soon. From volunteers for department heads. If you have yet to provide your volunteering requests, please be sure to do that by January 1st. If you do not provide volunteers with an estimate of your requirements, you will be responsible for fulfilling those needs from within your own staffing capacity. If you think you need more time to finalize your request, please inform volunteers no later than December 23rd. Otherwise, no exceptions will be given. Excuse me. Also, please be sure you are specific in your volunteer request. They will not be accepting requests that simply say, just do the same as last time. Their department will be updating their...
Someone put that in like a form?
People have done that in emails. Just do what you did last time.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't remember.
I do remember, but that's not the point.
Right.
What if somebody else looks at it?
Yeah.
Just had a little aneurysm. Sorry.
Volunteers...
It's just like, just the sheer dread that went over your face.
Volunteers will be updating their documentation this year, and they will need you to be as detailed as possible with your needs and with which staff member from your team is a good point of contact for the volunteers department to come to for signing off on the volunteers' shifts. If you have any questions, please feel free to email Hope directly. Let's see, moving on. Sherry from Themes. The department head position for Themes is still open, and Sherry will be sending out emails regarding the book either tonight or tomorrow. Please keep an eye out for that. The book deadline is earlier this year, so please make sure you're looking over your content as soon as possible. Thank you in advance. The Themes department is dealing with a high volume of art requests, so please be patient while we work through them. We've kind of realized over the last few years that the art requests have gone up while we've had not as many artists as we've wanted, so keep that in mind. Also, as Brittany had mentioned, that we are all volunteers, so all three of those things kind of converge to just try to be patient with those needs. Regarding the program guidebook, if you're not familiar, if you don't recall, that first volley from them should be, this is some of your static information in the guidebook, you know, either the blurb about your department, if there is one, and or your hours, location, that type of information, if you have it in there. Look that over for its accuracy and get that back to them, so when they're trying to continue to build the program guide this year in as many pieces as they can, as quickly as they can, that they can start checking those pieces off and then just continuing to plug in things like scheduled information, stuff like that as it comes in. But look that over and make sure that, you know, your location is correct, that your, you know, if your blurb hasn't changed, but just get back to them and say, no changes, change this, etc. The hours look good, or the hours have changed, whatever it might be. And then for the information beyond that, if you are a department that has information beyond that, like I said, you know, tabletop schedules, video game schedules, whatever that stuff might be, make sure that you do get that into them as early as possible. With the program deadline will be earlier this year because we need more program guides this year because we have more people this year, so everything moves back a little bit, so we won't have as much time to give a super soft deadline. It will be just a soft deadline, and they will need to proofread that and get that out to the printers so that they can print more, so everything backs up just a little bit. So in years past, it's actually been said, well, if you don't get it in, it doesn't get in the guide. I don't subscribe to that, because if it doesn't get in the guide, then the attendees don't know about it, and if we've spent all year hoping you do magical things in your department with tabletop gaming or video gaming or programming, and it doesn't get in the guide for people to know about, no good. So let's make sure we can get your stuff in the guide, and it's just a few people that are putting that guide together, and our attendees really want our program guide. They have not yet wanted us to switch to half digital or full digital, where I've seen a number of other events do that, and it's worked well for them. Our attendees are still really wanting our physical copies of the guide, so we will continue to try to do that as long as we are able to, and it's a viable option for us. But it is just a few folks putting that together. With that being said, if we don't, and we might not be able to fill that themes head position before January 1st, I believe our best option is going to be for any of the management type issues that would typically be handled by a themes department head will need to be pulled off and handled by either one member of our executive team or by the executive team as a whole. Sherry is the primary and has been for a number of years on the program guidebook, and she herself has indicated to us that she will not do both, and we would not expect her to do both. That's a ton of work that goes into that book. So if we're not able to find someone to fill that themes position, the head position, that will let her focus on the program guide, and any management stuff we'll handle at the executive level until we can get somebody in to do the head position properly. Let's see here, and then I think I had a larger email with a bunch of folks in it.
Yeah, there was a huge change.
Yep, I was just kind of skipping over that one.
I was trying to filter them, so.
Let's see. That's not the one that I lost, is it?
The longest one has Ton in it.
That was
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
It's a good mic.
Dear universe.
Oh, there.
If you find it, I have it up. If you-
I thought I had
It's
it.
that one. Is that that one?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's not it. Okay.
Well, in the meantime, I can say some stuff.
Go for it.
I really want to introduce you guys the new Artist Alley department head. Yeah. Her name is Kat. Kat, please stand up and please welcome her to the team.
Nice sweater. Welcome, Kat.
Yay! She's she's been with us for a couple of years now. She went from volunteering she went from staff to subhead to now running this show by herself. And I believe in her. And then I also want to introduce you guys to the exhibitor hall department head too. Her name is Alyssa. She's been with us forever. Do you guys have any questions or
You find
Do you
it?
guys
I
have
do.
any questions or concerns about Artist Alley or have any recommendations or whatever? Talk to those two. Don't talk to me anymore.
Okay.
Aren't you so proud? And sad?
Yeah.
Congratulations to everyone.
Sorry.
Bruce, we have your. I saw his updates. Hold on.
I'm so sorry.
I
Oh,
do
yes.
have his tech updates. I have his email up. He's working on a website refresh right now. Some of their current systems are creating a couple snags, but we're working on refreshing the WordPress. If for your department, by the way, you need updates or you want to update something on the website, make sure you're taking the time to look at the information or anything that's relevant to your department that's on the website. We will work with Bruce and the executive team to make sure we get that verbiage correctly and updated properly, because some of it is just archaic.
Yeah.
And we are just kind of gutting a lot of our stuff still. Welcome to Glow Up. Working to facilitate some calls with subheads, working on some contracts. Still working on proper IT documentation handover right now with Kristen and Ashley. He would like some thoughts on others of the creation of the tech services request Google form, where departments, panelists, and others can put in items they need during the convention. And Bruce would also like to introduce himself as the new Department of Technical Services. He worked with Nebrascon?
Yes.
Why did I not know that?
I don't know. That's where.
I feel like I saw him there then.
Don't go to Nebraska.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was also on our tech staff the last couple of years.
But he looks forward to working with all of you in this new role. So he's very involved in the convention scene, which is fantastic. But with Nebrascon, he is the assistant director of tech. If you have any technical requirements needed for the convention or need a consultation, please feel free to reach out. And again, that's Bruce Levine. Bruce, I'm sorry in the chat that we missed that update, but I just dumped it in here. Obviously, he's in the chat right now, but you feel free to email him or tag him in the staff Discord. He's in there as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I've got cosplay. Cosplay is solidifying the cosplay guests that they're... Okay. So we have a couple of different types of cosplay guests, guests of honor. There's some that are going to be working, a little more directly with the cosplay department, might be doing some judging, and then there's some other cosplay guests that might not be doing the judging. So the cosplay guests that have sort of been researched and requested from our cosplay department, they are solidifying that. And the cosplay contest is online signups only this year, and the date is to be announced on social media.
Followed by the link.
Yeah, the link will not be released until it is live. And logistics. Let's see.
You can scratch the need for volunteers off that.
Okay.
I figured that out today.
All right. Logistics will be working with the executive team about when to schedule the truck rental. and any locker needs must go through logistics so that a time can be scheduled for access. So if you believe that you need access to the locker, please work through that with Tabby. And let's see, from video gaming, let's see. Let's see, just scrolling through this. Event Arcade Rentals and Snow Phoenix has been secured for 2024. We're still working on finalizing World 9. Run the Mix has agreed to return and run most of the tournaments. And let's see, we're working on some contracts, and looks like that still falls within their budget. Still pending some other returning tournament organizers based on their availability. Had a lot of his team sign up as the volunteers, and has some questions about badge names and how that's designated in Eventney that we can work through with them. And I believe that looks like everything from them. And from JC and Programming, the panel submissions continue to be open. They'll close at the end of January. Obviously, program is a huge part of the Detour experience. We usually have well over 200 panels. So, and a lot of them are actually provided by staff. So if you do or are interested in running panels, encourage you to submit that to our programming department. While it has not yet been finalized, but it is in the stages of something that we are working on and have moved into the near finalization of this past week, and some discussions with JC is an escape room, a group that we're bringing in from outside. And a quote here is, "It will most likely have a J horror theme," so that's super exciting. That's the first that I've actually seen of that. So that
Horror, like Japanese horror?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. So that's really cool. Pretty excited about that. So from Lee and the video department, let's see. He's currently scheduling his rooms, seeking permissions, waiting to hear back from streamers. It's kind of typical for the video department this time of year. That's where we were at with that. And I think the last one was Brittany's response to that. Let's see.
There's a question in the chat about staff housing and when those announcements will come out. Because we allocate staff housing, like we are the ones that like assign it, and our staffing and reservations and collaboration typically are the ones who set that in stone. But like in terms of announcement of a link.
Yeah. So we have. So there's two, I guess. I don't know if I'd say different types of staff housing, but yeah. So we have the staff housing that we provide. As I guess, for lack of a better word, as a perk of your staffing, as part of, you've identified through your Eventney application that you do need staff housing, and you've agreed to the provisions on your application, and then there is a staff. There's a link, as there is for, let's say, Artist Alley and vendors, for a block of rooms that staff can purchase and pay for on their own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's what.
Know how to access it.
Right. Yes, the link has not yet been provided since we just.
I called it.
Yes, we
so
just opened rooms yesterday to the general public, and rather than be that murderous to our hotel partners, knowing that when we carve up the hotel, that the staff, any of the blocks are safe, independent of each other, that we shoved them out on the front lines yesterday, that these staff rooms, all of those other blocks are separate from the general public blocks and each other, that they aren't competing with each other. This block can't access the other block, etc. Now that the general public block is closed and sold out in 8 minutes or less, that
Okay, we had over.
Every year, guys.
Listen.
Every year. How often we need to tell you this?
No.
Every year.
We have over.
Or 8 minutes or less.
Yeah,
At
we
this
had
point,
we had
this
over
is how it's
8,000
gonna be.
attendees. If we even have like 600 rooms, you have to think about, like, if you map that out to maxing 4 person per room, we would need 2,000 rooms. So people can't all live and stay at Detour. It's unfortunate.
Right.
We have to prioritize. I know, dang, we all want to live at Detour, but but we have to prioritize. Like, we have a certain amount of space that we've allocated to like group registration, that we allocate to artists, vendors, staff, guests. We have to think about like those spaces. We want to get the hotel block out to our attendees first and foremost, and that's why we release that block. Then we will slowly solidify with the reservations and the staffing team the other blocks, and then as is tradition, whatever we don't use gets released. We just want to make sure that everyone is housed and everyone has a space, but
Right.
that means the process, because we do manual blocking, is slower.
right.
So,
Um,
but it will be out.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I thought.
do you have a question?
It's more of a comment, I guess, that
Sure.
I've been seeing. I know this is probably none of us have control over, but there was a lot of issues with the hotel. Obviously not 100% our fault, but I did want to let you know, based on what I've seen and heard from other people I know, is that there were a lot of people that were able to secure rooms earlier than they were released. And they made it very, bragged about it. Like, oh, I got my room like at 9 a.m. or
Yeah.
10
I
a.m.
saw, I was watching a comment.
You too?
Because I was literally on Facebook as it dropped.
Yeah, so I have a lot of, like, people I know that have accessibility issues, that like staying at the hotel is a lot easier for them, that couldn't get in
Do you know if they
at
called
all.
in?
Huh?
Do you
Well-
know if they called in or just went onto the website and booked?
They went to the website. They did it through the actual process, but then finding out that others were calling or like doing stuff a different way. or
Well,
finding
yeah,
out that
there
they
was
were
there
early.
was people that said that the room block. Well, there was people that around one said that they were told by the hotel that the room block opened at 10. A couple of issues with that is when you call, you're not talking to the hotel, you're talking to a call center in
A call
Nebraska.
center representative,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So there's a difference in validity of information there. Secondly, if someone tells you at 1:05 that the room block opened at 10, I can dispute that because I'm the one that handled everything. And I didn't post any of the links
And there's going to be
until after 1 o'clock.
Like-
Now, there are some other things that didn't happen quite as they should. I don't know
Like, I'm not
when
using
the
it.
hotel website itself
Yeah.
was accessible. I know the information got up on our website a little before 1, between about 53 and 55-ish. So a little bit early. So I guess if you were parked on our website and you were,
Hit refresh on that
yeah,
page,
if you had your 1980s NES controller set to turbo, you were going to get there a little quicker.
I mean, it's not to accuse what you guys are doing.
No,
It's just more bringing to your attention.
Yeah,
that
and
there
there's-
are
Yep.
multiple different things.
There are already, yesterday I was able to put some things in place that will make things not happen next year
Thank you.
in terms of that, and I don't know why they weren't, but that it won't just be a matter of the links being live when I put the links out there. It will be that, literally from yesterday until somebody from Detour says the entire, not just general block, but all blocks are locked out. So should you call, it won't matter if you don't have the code, because you shouldn't be able to book without the code. So even though we haven't posted the code and only 2 people, 3 people on staff have the code and we haven't given it to anybody, you shouldn't be able to call and get a call center representative in Nebraska who then books you a room. That should not happen. But now with it being completely locked out in their system, no matter how nice you are to them or what you promise them, they can't book you now.
Right, because it worked last year. Like,
Yeah,
you couldn't do that last year, so I don't know if something.
It has to be-
I do know.
It has to be some kind of system.
I do know the number of people that were able to book early, and it is minuscule. There were people who then called the hotel and said they were in different subgroups, and they weren't, and those rooms were canceled. Again, they shouldn't have said that, and again, they shouldn't have been able to book into a subgroup because they didn't have the code, because even those department heads haven't yet received that code to give to, whether it be artists, vendors, staff, whomever. So there was one other thing. And we blocked it. I blocked it yesterday once we found out that was happening, and we'll continue to use that going forward, that any of the subgroups you will have to book online, that you now won't be able to call and say, but I'm in a subgroup.
Yeah, it gets convoluted when there's multiple channels.
Yeah.
Like, any customer service rep will tell you anywhere that, like, they're doing their best
But
that they can to make it work for you.
And again, it was supposed to be that way. We put in the original post, in order to get access to the block, which not only access the block, but access that block to get the Detour room rate, which is in that block, you must book through the link. So again, they weren't supposed to be able to book into this over the phone, and also not without the code, which is the link. So we were aware of the problems that actually existed, and not the ones that were just being bandied about online. There were actual problems, and we're aware of those, and have addressed that, because it's already, as Brittany had said, there's already going to be complications with 8,000 attendees, and in an empty hotel it's 650 rooms, and that's before we put guests of honor over there, and artists or vendors or anything like that. So when we actually open up the general room block, it's less than that. So yes, like I said, would have been nice to. It's always like, okay, now we have solved the problem, but we've solved it for 368 days from now.
I just wanted to say, like, I'm appreciative to you guys. It's not coming at you.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
No. I mean,
it was just something I wanted to bring in attention.
Oh yeah, like I opened the blocks. I was on the phone with the Hyatt. I was emailing the Hyatt. I was responding to the social media stuff, because we would love for everybody to have a room. We want the process to be quick. Well, we want the reserving a room portion to be quick. Do we like it when rooms sell out? Yes, we do. Not problematically. Not, by any means for people to be able to book rooms before the time in which they open. So yeah, we don't want those types of issues, because then it breaks down, the validity of, we are opening the rooms at this time so that everybody has a fair and equal opportunity to book a room. That's why we do it that way. So when there are people that are exploiting some type of loophole in the process, we're going to find what can we do to make sure on our end that it's not happening. And if it does, each time something was coming up online, I was getting back with the Hyatt and saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing online that they are saying is happening at a hotel level, in terms of at a hotel partner level. And that's, when it was determined, they're talking to a call center person, that this isn't happening at the front desk of our hotel partners, so they can't go down to the front and say, who's saying these things, so, like I said, we are appreciative of the impact, and, if you've attended any other cons, which most of us have here, we've all gone through that stress of, I would really like a room, and I'm glad there isn't a swear jar any close by, because I'm on my phone, I'm on my tablet, I'm on my laptop, and so are 6 other people I know, and we're all trying to book a room. I hope one of us gets one.
Just so you know, as another option that a lot of people kind of sleep on, the DoubleTree that's behind
everybody
every year.
Every year I tell
Oh, really?
Dude, just
I
go
do
to
that
DoubleTree.
one.
Huh.
I do
It's a
that one.
2-minute walk.
It's like
and
so
then
close.
because
Yeah,
I'm
my
a
friends do that
member
every year too.
Of like Hilton, I got a suite, a 2-bedroom suite for $600.
Oh, wow.
What?
Don't sleep on that place. That place is awesome. That's what I booked this year to make sure I got something. I was like, we're good.
And we'll be, doing more looks, and increasing, obviously the Hyatt being the convention hotel, we have full allocation of that. And then each year we look at our overflow hotels, or at least our current overflow hotels, and continue to add to the room block there, at least with the Millennium. We have, we'll continue to add even more rooms to Friday and Saturday predominantly, but also now even more Thursday, and then a few more on Sunday. Obviously, most people choose Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Even more try
That
to
was
come.
hard.
Even more try to come in on Thursday. But it is, I wouldn't say it's a guessing game, but we do have to be responsible, because then we are being contractually obligated to those rooms, and if we're not hitting that attrition rate, then we are then we become financially responsible for the room. So we have to try and gauge it based on the needs, the attendance, and a projection for the following year, so that we don't find ourselves with empty rooms that we're paying for. So that's a little bit of the unfortunate business side, which isn't as exciting as let's all go to a con, but that's, and we'll look at that again this year and increase rooms there and at the Hilton, and if we end up with full allocation on Friday and Saturday at the Millennium, then that's what we'll do as attendance for Anime Detour on the exciting end. That's increased 33% total over the last 2 years, so that's not something that can really be dismissed, to have grown our con a third in 2 years.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Part of that is that we will be working with our staffing department. The part of that is we do have a significant number of rooms allocated for various parts of staff over at the Millennium. They're just, obviously, as part of what we're talking about, is there just is a very finite amount of rooms at all of the hotels, including the Hyatt. We will be working with them. Obviously, if you are in a number of departments, or certainly in a number of different leadership positions, you will most likely continue to be housed at the Hyatt. We're thinking of things like, obviously, accessibility, things like our tech department. Things haven't been completely finalized yet, but we are now to the point with that attendee growth, vendor growth, artist alley growth, the ability for us to house all things Detour related, in addition to a significant number of attendees all at the Hyatt, is just not viable anymore. So we do need to have some of our folks over at the Hyatt, even if it's a number of our general type staff. So if it's a lot of leadership folks that are at the Hyatt, And like I said, if it's, perhaps people like, Consuite or, tech people, folks like that.
And for reference, anyone who's like kind of newer to Detour or really just hasn't done much to engage with the hotels that we have, the Millennium is right across the street. It is connected via open skyway. It's a very
It's just
accessible.
A 6-step walk.
Yeah, it's.
If you cross a half.
This isn't like in my opinion, like when I staffed with Amkey and they have stuff operating at the hotel and the convention center, and it's kind of a big cluster of a lot of stuff all the time. However, I didn't mind being at the further away hotel because it was a little quieter. It is much further, yeah, and it is much more of a further walk. Like we're, in terms of like compensating this allocation for our continued and expanding growth, like we're not deprioritizing people who need to respond in emergency situations. We're not deprioritizing anyone who needs to be on site within 2 minutes or just needs like a crash pad as close as humanly possible when it comes to like department heads running areas and stuff. Like we are just trying to make better allocations for our expanded growth. And that might not always be as convenient as your crash pad of 2-minute walk. But like I have to say, from like staying at the Millennium personally as like an attendee, the elevators are just faster. Like it's actually just easier to get to and from, honest to God. So if people are like concerned about those allocations or want to have a conversation about it, like I'm willing to chat, our chairman team's willing to chat, but like this is a move that like needs to happen for like a lot of the general staff, and like we're taking accommodations into consideration as per normal. So
And go ahead.
Somebody has a question over here.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, where your stutters today,
Word.
very, I was gonna say, do we take into consideration, people who do have accessibilities, like me and my partner?
Yeah, and if there are housing accommodations where you, like, for some of our staff that has staff housing and need accommodations, as long as we can make sure we stay within, like, our reasonable groupings and stuff, we will make accommodations as we're able to, so.
Yeah, and
Because like the three of us typically try to room together,
Mm-hmm.
but the last couple of years, due to my, medical issues, I've ended up having to use a wheelchair to get around the convention because I just can't
Mhm.
walk
Oh, for
that
sure.
much.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a big space.
Yeah, and,
I don't think we've gotten an ADA room once.
no, in the last 3 years. And
I-
that's been
well-
trying to go through either getting a room through the staff block and requesting the room through the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
or, when we, tried to get the staff room through you guys, and I actually mentioned that to Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times, like, it's fallen on deaf ears. I mean, us ambassadoring at other conventions and talking about Troy, and, like, I don't know why it's so hard for any hotel to just, like, ADA accessible room, wheelchair, no run into sofa, please.
I have had the least ADA accessible
Oh my
ADA
God,
rooms,
every time. It's, like, insane.
Even-
I'm like, how are we in here?
even when I
Like,
started
worked-
requesting them.
Like last year, I worked at AMK,
Insane.
and I worked the overnight shift for safety. So I was going back to the further hotel
Yeah.
at 3 a.m.
Oh,
in a wheelchair.
yeah,
I know, like, what I have to do, because I have to get an ADA room
Yeah.
for my mom, otherwise Steph can't take her with.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I get the link, I book the hotel, and then I make sure and then I have to make sure so I'm not paranoid. I call the hotel and be like, just to make sure this is ADA, yes?
and
I know.
Yes?
The
Okay, good.
the largest issue that we struggle with is the limited number of ADA rooms. So if they are already allocated or sold out, or not all of them fell within the staff block, then that's the issue with then trying to allocate them out later. So that's the issue there. Tabby?
I don't mean to shoehorn this in. Everyone's allowed their experience and stuff. The rest of this can be taken to email format. If we could possibly move the meeting forward, because I gotta go eat and I got things I gotta talk to everyone else about separately outside of the meeting.
Oh, for sure.
So not trying to take away from it, it is.
Yeah,
important,
yeah,
but I
if
think
there
the
are-
rest of this needs to go to email.
In any of the conversations that we're bringing up, if there are specific things, we're like, yeah, but what about this? And it doesn't like, it's not necessarily like a everybody discussion, for sure. Yeah, throw it in email, throw it in staff chats, like 100%.
Everyone's on board, everyone's cool with it, it's just,
Mm.
I don't mean to be that person, but I need to be that person.
No, yeah. And we have a couple meetings, people that want to meet up
Yeah,
after this
yeah.
as well, so that's totally fair.
Like, we can take this conversation after the meeting too, so.
Oh,
Just a little
definitely.
pin in it, post, you know.
Were there any other, department updates that we didn't get through?
No, I think that
'cause
was,
I think addressing the hotel stuff was not unwarranted. I mean, there's so much push on social media for sure. And like Morgan had kind of said in the staff chat, like, for your mental health, like, sometimes don't read the comments. Like, it's okay. Like, I get a lot of energy from that crap, but that's just me.
I thrive off the different breed of.
that was everything that we had in email, so
Registration-
unless, the other.
The registration update that James and I have been working on is we have a group reg process. We haven't done any social media pushes yet, but our process is kind of a verification via email, discount code via Eventany, and we will be sending out the group registration links for their hotels soon. I don't know if you have anything else, James. Like,
I'd like to step down.
oh,
But I mean, it doesn't have to be like this cycle, I mean, because apparently there's enough turmoil going on. I can tough it out for the rest of this one, but after this, find someone else. It's not my big worms.
okay.
I got married, I have other things that are.
Yeah.
Fun.
You have other
Yeah,
priorities.
yeah.
That's fair. We can have an additional conversation, and maybe it can just be about like department assistance. We can talk outside of this,
yeah.
but like I'm here to
That's
support
nice.
you. We'll make it work.
Exactly.
DJ, did you have anything for tabletop? Then I think that's everybody else that's here and nothing else. Tabby?
Is there anybody
No, I
else?
got it, don't worry, I might step up.
Okay.
I might do a little bit.
Con Relation says I'm exhausted. Forms will go up
Okay.
soon. Bear with
Okay.
me. She just did a lot of traveling, so that's from Buttons.
Oh, yes. Okay, if there's nothing else in chat, then I think that that's
I think
everything.
that's it. We'll go to like the one-on-one sessions and the chitty chats afterwards. Otherwise, we'll see all y'all in January. Make
Yep.
sure you're emailing the executive team and posting in the Discord if you need assistance or need connections, meetings, or help. Yeah.
I think that's everything.
Do we have to like sign off on a sheet?
Just shoot us an email. I mean, or if you're in the chat. We don't unfortunately have. We're gonna set up a new form. So
Or you
it's
could just
easier
have the
if
folks
you-
here.
Yeah, we can just have
write
ones
their
that
names
still
down.
sign up,
Okay,
Sure,
okay,
that's fine.
that'd be great.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Stop streaming, and then you hit yeah.
Also, what happened to the water?